Okay, I just learned something pretty cool that I didn't know before. I learned that anxiety, lust, and sin are all interrelated. And all interrelated, I guess, in a slightly different way than I thought they were before. So let's start with anxiety. Anxiety, as I've written it, is a belief that what you have is essential to keep. Anxiety emerges from a fear of losing something and clinging to it so as not to lose it, out of a fear of losing it. It's like saying, if I don't do anything, I'm going to lose this. Belief here means clinging, right? It's clinging to what you want to be true in order to feel okay. It's something that you create. It's not necessary. It could be true, but it's not necessarily true. What's going to make you what's going to make you feel okay. So anxiety, therefore, is a symptom of believing in something. Some sort of preconception you have. It might be a thought you haven't thought of before. It could be, what's another example? It could be believing that, like, if you can't make friends with someone, you're going to be outcast. You're not going to make it through high school or something like that. It could be a belief that if you don't have kids by the time you're 25 or something, that maybe your family will reject you or you'll be a failure or something like that. Those are beliefs. Those aren't things that are true. Those are ideas and concepts that maybe you assumed rather than created for yourself, but they're still structures of how you live your life, maybe without even realizing it. Those are things that would create a lot of anxiety. And the next thing is lust. So I always thought lust was something like just sexual, like sexual lust. But what's interesting is that it's actually just anxiety again. Lust is a belief that what you don't have must be had. Lust is empowered anxiety. That line fascinated me. I never thought of it that way. Lust is something when you still have that belief, some preconception, some sort of assumption going on in your mind, but you reach out for it instead of avoiding it. Lust tends to be more masculine, and anxiety would lean more feminine. And I don't mean that in like a gender terms, like male versus female. I mean that in a more archetypal type of way. So lust emerges from lacking something and craving it to feel whole. It's saying, I must have this in order to feel okay. It's the same thing, but you're empowered in reaching out to get it to preempt that anxiety. That fascinates me. It's still fascinating me. I just learned it. I had no idea. And that really reframes a lot of what I've seen in other people and especially in myself. And for both of them, lust and anxiety, they're symptoms of beliefs. They're symptoms of assumptions you've made in your life on what you need to be true in order to feel okay. That's a big one, belief in there. There's a lot of things a lot of assumptions we have on our life on how things must go, on who we must be, on the things we must do, get a job, have a family. So many. There's more than I could think of, but those are two that have been personal in my life. Belief clings and faith lets go is something I say. So I wrote here that faith is the cure, meaning not like a faith necessarily in God, but a letting go. My sister calls it radical acceptance, and that's exactly the same thing as what I mean by faith. I don't prefer the word radical acceptance or the phrase radical acceptance, but that's just personal preference. They mean exactly the same thing. Faith is letting go. It's letting go of your expectations of what you need to be true, of what you want to be true, and just experiencing things as they are. I thought that was all really cool. And finally, then I guess we should talk about sin real quick. So sin kind of, I mean, sin is a much bigger umbrella than these two things, but they feed in very nicely. Sin is a signal of misalignment, as attunement is a signal of alignment. So sin is not doing something and it's bad. It's identifying that you're on some sort of path or on some sort of alignment that actually separates you from being whole. Being sinful, that's such a loaded word, I know, but being sinful really just means you're chasing something or fearing something, right? Anxiety or lust, something that you think that you want to make you feel whole, but actually isn't. That's huge. That's what sin means, is like you're chasing something because you have some sort of fear, some sort of anxiety or lust after it, and you want that thing to make you feel whole. You have some sort of assumption baked into your head that will make you feel whole. But when you get it, if you get it, it doesn't. And that just stirs up more anxiety. So I really like how I framed things here. Sin isn't something that means you're a bad person. It's something that means your actions are misleading you. You're being misled in some sort of way. And so you could see sinfulness as a bad thing, which I think is how it gets loaded up. You know, right? That's how I've always heard of sin, is it's a bad thing, you're a bad person if you're sinful, etc. But really, it's more of an invitation to change your course. It's a signal in your mind of saying, hey, this isn't going to go where you think it's going to go. You can keep going that way. We all do. But it's important to know this, because now you should be realizing that this isn't going to get you where you want to go. It's just going to cause a cycle of anxiety and of lust and anxiety, of wanting to feel whole, chasing something that doesn't make you feel whole. And then you just end up feeling bad at the end of it. So sin is an indicator that our lust is being misdirected and our anxiety is misplaced. I love that. I love all three of those things. That's enlightening. I don't know how else to say it. That really reframed a lot of my own life, my own behaviors, just my framing on the whole world. It's such like a small thing. You'd think that you have these words defined since like childhood, but I guess not. What else can you say? So, how do we wrap this up? Sin isn't bad. It's just a signal that you're not going where you want to be going. Right? You're not wrong for wanting to feel whole. It's just the things that you're chasing aren't going to make you feel whole. Anxiety is a fear, and so is lust. The difference is just in if you're avoiding that fear or if you're trying to preempt that fear. And the solution to both of them, I think there's a lot of ways to solve this, but ultimately it comes down to letting go. However you call that. You could call that faith, you could call that acceptance, radical acceptance, you could call it whatever. But the point is letting go. Letting go of assumptions, letting go of what you expect, and just letting life come to you. I think that's all I have to say. I hope that helped you. It's helped me, and I'm going to be thinking about this for days to come now. So anyway, cheers, everyone.